Welcome back to the We Need a Roast podcast, and today we're diving straight into the best premium quality sci-fi show on Apple that no one seems to talk about that's not Foundation. That's right, it's Murderbot time. SecUnit, soap opera, sarcasm, trauma, identity crisis, it's all here. We're talking full spoilers from hacked memory wipes to tearjerker finales, so if you haven't watched it yet, pause this and go and binge 10 episodes of one of the best sci-fi shows Apple's ever buried in its algorithm somewhere. So, why are we the only people talking about it? Why wasn't this brilliantly funny, painfully relatable, anxiety robot show the massive hit it deserved to be? Was it bad marketing, bad timing, or just everyone being cowards and not appreciating a murdery robot who just wants to watch TV in peace? We're breaking it all down in our Murderbot spoiler special. I'm your host, Neil, and I'm joined by Marie and Jose for this episode. So, Marie, as our resident Murderbot expert, who the first person who got very excited about it and told us all about it before we even knew it was a thing, explain to our viewers why the story resonated with you so much and why Murderbot is so awesome.
Well, he is basically me. Like, I read the first book and I thought I had never related to a character more. And that is saying something because he's a murdering robot. But yeah, it's just... The books are so funny. I reread the first book in preparation of this episode, and for even just the second time around, I just had such a blast with it. It is just so fun, and it's like, I really hope what the show does is encourages more people to check out the books. One thing that I downside about the first book, which I think one of the reasons Neil hasn't read it yet, because the first book is a novella, so it's really, really small, and then still it's quite expensive. So I do really recommend the audiobook. It used to be free on Audible. It's not anymore, but if you have Spotify, you can listen to it on Spotify. It's 3 hours. It's like 3 hours, 30 minutes. It will take you...
That's really short.
It's shorter than some of our episodes, so it will like take you less than that, and it's just such a fun ride.
3 hours, 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I just added it to my playlist.
But I think the show did a good job. I have some qualms. I do, but overall, I think it actually did a pretty good job. And as far as book adaptations goes, it was pretty decent.
So, what is Murderbot? What is the story about? Who is the main character? What is the setup for the first series of the show?
Murderbot is, and the only way to describe this is that Murderbot is a depressed robot who hacks its governor module, the thing that controls it. So, technically, he could go on a murdering spree and kill all the humans, but all he wants to do is lay in bed and watch TV all day. And because he suffers heavily from depression. Again, does that sound familiar to you people? The show has expanded on this premise quite a bit. As I said, the book is not even a book, it's a novella. It's really, really short. It's all from Murderbot's perspective. They did a lot of padding on the show, and we'll get into that, but they kept the basic premise, and not even just the basic premise, but the basic feel of the show. Even though, and we'll probably get down this more down the line when we talk character, both Murderbots are very different from book to screen.
Okay. Jose, what was your initial reaction to the show?
I liked it. I liked it through and through. As someone who didn't read the book, I knew that there was going to be less bias. And it makes sense that when you look at it, 10 episodes, you're like, oh, this is going to be a lot. But then they're 30-minute episodes, essentially. So
sometimes.
Less than, yeah.
Yeah, it goes by really quick. And so to hear that they padded, it makes sense that, 30 minutes, but like 10 episodes. Well, how does that make sense? You know, usually 30-minute shows, there's a lot more episodes. And then usually if it's a longer episode, there's 8 episodes total. So this is slightly different being someone who's a junkie and watches a lot of online shows. But yeah, honestly, I enjoyed it. And I actually quite liked it where like almost every episode, I'm like, I need to watch the next one right away. And that's
But
not common, you know. It wasn't this.
And I got angry because they were so short. I was like, it's getting good, and then we have to stop, and then I'm going to forget stuff because it's
Yeah.
like a whole week, man.
Yeah, as a book reader, you read it all in one go as well. So like the fact that the show was like like stagnant was also annoying because, as I said, you can
It
read
was
the book
stagnant.
in one stagnant. Yeah, it kept starting
felt
and
like it-
stopping, starting and stopping,
I
starting
mean,
and stopping.
yeah. I was curious if it was even anything close to where chapters were, or was it kind of in a weird pace comparatively, or is that like too specific?
Like the plot beats are the exact same to the book. However, they added a lot of padding in between. I generally thought they would reach the end of the first book by episode 4. And no, and then they just like padded quite a lot. But the plot beats are there. The beginning is slightly different. The book starts with the big creepy crawly attack on the planet, whereas in the show it starts with the hacking of the governor module. The crew kind of figuring out what happens is a lot more, in a way, accelerated in the books, but at the same time, it happens a lot behind the scenes because it's Murderbot's perspective. So Murderbot just like adds like a line. It's like, oh yeah, Garothan figured that out like 2 minutes ago, and we're like, okay. So and then the show included those scenes of him figuring things out. Or like Murderbot would say, oh, the humans had a talk about whether or not to trust me. And of course, it's a TV show not tell. The show included those scenes. They did include a completely show original character. And they
Lee BB.
Yes. Yes, surprisingly, she was not in the book. The whole segment with Murderbot and Menza when they go on their exploration and the hopper crashes, that's not in the books at all. In fact, it's actually a bit of an insult to Menza because in the book, the autopilot does cut out, but because Menza is such a good pilot and never takes her hand off the wheel, she's managed to regain control of the hopper instantly. So I thought that was such an interesting change to put in. Their interaction was absolutely fucking hilarious. Him calming her down with Sanctuary Moon. So that was just funny. So I allow it. But yeah, that was extra padding. Then we had the alien sex scene, which I think this was episode 8 where it was just complete filler like that. No, surprisingly not. Like there is no filler in the book because it's so fast. It goes from one to another. And then, yeah, the ending and the resolution was, again, way stretched out in the show.
But the problem was the length of it for me. It wasn't like appointment viewing for me. You know, there's certain shows where like, is it out? Oh, I need to watch the episode straight away before there are spoilers. And Murderbot just didn't have that for me. When you watch it, you know you're going to enjoy it. You know you're going to love it.
Yeah.
But because it's so short, it just didn't pull me in. So the first thing I want to dive into is I thought bar Garothan and Dr. Mensa, almost all the supporting characters were massively underdeveloped. And Marie can answer this. Were they supposed to be that annoying? Which I gather probably yes, because Murderbot's tolerance for bullshit is fairly low. And I was like, I would absolutely have murdered most of these people as well.
I think even with a low tolerance, these guys were definitely annoying.
The characters in the book are barely a subplot. Like
Really?
They're kind of just in the background. They're there to like obviously annoy Murderbot and like keep him safe, and him kind of more recognizing his humanity without the governor module and stuff like that. That's kind of their purpose there. Menza is the biggest player in the book. They are very underdeveloped in the books. I mean, they're literally just background props, which is why I find it very funny when you set the character in the show was underdeveloped, because like compared to like what I had, like this was like we don't even get backstory to these characters in the book. They're just there. You have no idea.
We don't really get much. Well, we don't get backstory from them in the show.
We get Garothan's backstory
and Mensa's backstory.
Mensa.
I don't think we get anything on Pinley, Rathy.
Yeah. With the Rathy and the throuple situation, was that in the book at all?
No. And this is another major change, because in the book, Murderbot actually says that he's so happy these humans are drama free. So it's just
Really?
so funny that the throuple happens, because he said on previous contracts, they're like it's more similar to Sanctuary Moon. So the fact that they included that, yeah,
that kind of goes against the make the book then, really, doesn't it?
I think overall, just of course, because it was a plot thing, it was like they needed to flesh these characters more out and they needed to
Mm.
include it. I did not mind the throuple. I thought it was kind of funny, especially how like one of them was not into it at all and Ravi was just completely clueless. Yeah, and just Murderbot's reaction towards it. But I did think it was funny that like there's a specific line in the book going, "Oh, at least these humans are drama free," and they were the complete opposite in the show.
I have very limited experience in relationships, but I have
In
friends.
Frupples?
I've had two different friends.
I thought you were going to say Frupples then.
Yes, thruples, and they've both been in either one or the other character situation where like either they were the one that was trying to spice things up, or the other person was the person that was just trying to make everything be okay, and they're like, "Oh, this is not good." So I to see it on TV was kind of funny because I'm thinking of my friends exactly whenever that happened.
Jose, that's just a Tuesday morning in Florida, right? That's, that's like the least crazy thing that happens down there, man.
I mean, we live near St. Petersburg, Florida, which is a very open community. So, I mean, I have some friends that are great with telling stories, but that's neither here nor there.
See, I was going to say, yeah, Bar Garaffin and Dr. Mensah. I don't think any of the other characters even get flashbacks because you get their flashback in episode 7, and I was like, okay, this is good. We finally get. Oh, wait a minute, there's only a couple of more episodes after this. We're definitely not going to get flashbacks for the rest of them. And I think we said this before we started recording. I could not name any of the other characters bar those two and SecUnit. That was it. I was like, I had to literally look up. Oh, Pinley, Rafi, Arada, and Bawaji. And I mean, I just, yeah, I get that they're annoying, and I get that they're supposed to be annoying because that's the whole thing with Murderbot.
Oh, I just think it's the whole setup of a TV show in general is if there's no drama, even if it's low key or funny, it makes for a boring show. Oh, I mean, it just makes it more difficult to keep the main character interesting because then you have to do more somewhere.
Well, shout out to my favourite supporting character, which is Anna Concour's Lee Beebe, who appears in episode 5 as a survivor before betraying the team and then getting her head exploded by Murderbot in episode 6. And apparently she wasn't in the book, and yet she was such a great brief addition to the cast. But just the difference, like immediately the charisma this actress had playing that character. I was like, yes, I want to see more of this character. Oh, and there's her head over the back of the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when she just keeps going on about wanting to have sex with Murderbot as well, and it was just it was so funny,
That was the timid part too.
right?
To be honest, like I did not like her addition because like at that point, like the padding was like so unbelievably obvious with me, and I was kind of just like, okay, like this is like getting a bit unnecessary. Although, like, fun fact, in the books, Murderbot does actually not murder anyone. Like, so.
Really?
Oh, right. Do you reckon they
Yeah.
had this conversation in the writers' room and was like, we better actually have Murderbot murder someone?
Now, what surprises me is he's a security robot, so you would think that at some point, like in his previous jobs, he would have done that.
But he wouldn't have remembered that, would he?
No, his like memory gets wiped between each
Yeah.
each job.
Oh, I see. So
But
Like you did with
period
each
of the
contract,
book-
Jose. You know?
But
Gotcha.
they don't actually go into this the show. There's actually two types of units. Like
Types?
so there's security units
Oh,
and then there's I forgot what the name is, but I think attack units. So like security units, his job is literally just security to keeping people safe. Murderbot is like his self nickname, the way he
Yeah.
sees himself, because you know there's a lot of self hatred there. Again, can you tell that I relate to this character a lot? So that's like his view of himself. That's why he gives himself the name Murderbot. But no, like he's a security unit. His job is actually just protection and not attack.
So this kind of ties into what we're talking about with the supporting characters. I'm really hoping that in the next series, I'm guessing that with the way season 1 ends, which we'll get into in a bit, I'm guessing that in the next book it's a completely different set of supporting characters, and because of like obviously his life cycle and how many books there are, that you don't keep having the same set of characters with him. He's kind of each book he kind of meets newer people. I mean, that's not really a spoiler, is it? I suppose it's just to do with the structure of the story.
Yeah.
How much you want to say now that isn't completely spoiling?
I mean,
I
I'm
suppose?
I'm looking at Jose. You know, he's the spoiler police. But I no, your assessment there is correct. I mean,
Hey.
like because the series is called the Murderbot Diaries. It's more of like
Yeah.
an anthology series, and especially the first 4, maybe 5 books that are just novellas because there's just such short snippets. And because yeah, I think book 5 is like the first full length novel that we get. So yeah, there are just snippets. There is a character in book 2 who I absolutely love, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet them. I genuinely don't. Him connection that it has with Murderbot is just so funny, and yeah, I cannot wait. Book 2 also opens up a lot of questions to me, like how they're gonna adapt that, especially regarding Skarsgård playing Murderbot.
Well, I read in my research that for the next series, they are planning to fold in the next 3 books into the one season.
Oh.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay.
Does that mean they've probably learned from their mistakes on season 1 and actually listened to the fans, or is that a mistake? Marie needs some processing time here.
I know exactly what why they're doing that and what they're going to, but it's a massive spoiler. But I have a feeling you guys are not going to like the answer anyway.
But that's a good idea though. That's a good idea though. Then it sounds like
I'm not like. Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were going to do that with season 1, at least enfold
Combine.
1 and 2, combine 1 and 2. They are definitely a lot more filler the next few books. I mean, I recall less and less from them than I did from book 1. Like book 1, it was the definite standout. But yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I mean, that will work, right? Because you'll have 3 books over 5.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, and they're similar, like audio, like if you base it on the audio runtime, they're similar. They're all like 3 hours, like all the novellas.
Do you think it would make sense where maybe every 3 or 4, like 3 episodes is one a book? So that way it just jumps through the books real quick?
This sounds a little bit like how they adapted The Witcher, if you think about it, because the first couple of series were based on the short stories collections, and then they were building up to The Wild Hunt, which was like the epic video game that dragged everyone in, and then no one cared because,
I was about to
Henry
say, is
Cavill
that
left.
really the template that we're going with?
No, but just in terms of comparison, that had like shorter stories that they then constructed into the main narrative to get to, and like you said, from book 5 onwards, then it's a proper full novel, and I'm guessing shit goes down and it's really good, right?
I mean, they're all really good.
Yeah.
Like never, like there isn't a single bad Murderbot book. They're all really good. And honestly, it was a bit weird, like reading a Murderbot story that was longer than like like a couple of pages when it actually went to the actual novel. It just like in the novel, it comes all together. Like I often like described to you guys, Murderbot is like that one episode of Buffy where Xander is the protagonist, but nothing really happens to Xander. Like the big threat is happening in the background.
In the background all the time.
And like Xander is on his own adventures with the zombies and stuff like that. That's what kind of the Murderbot series is happening. Where
Zeppo.
Where like Murderbot is on its own adventure, but there's this bigger conspiracy theory that's like happening in the background that started in the first book and in the show. You do see it, but he only like gets back to it after like a few adventures.
Alien artifacts?
Jose, you're usually the spoiler police, so you're going to get beaten with
I mean, that's in the show.
It's in the show. I was just
but I didn't remember it, so therefore it's a spoiler.
It's part of the show.
Shut your face. You'll get truncheoned by the spoiler police. I will train a Murderbot. I will get a Murderbot to do its protest put-down duties on you.
There we go. And then just wipe its memory.
I want to talk about, well, I'm going to start it and then Marie's going to wax lyrical about the greatness of the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. Because I remember when you said you saw the trailer, you was like, oh my God, they're doing it in live action.
And you guys had no idea what I was on about.
Nope.
I generally did not expect them to like do a whole show within a show. I actually was like forgot that yeah, Murderbot mentions that Sanctuary Moon it's his favorite, and he mentions a few scenes in it, but not as much as he does in the show. Well,
I mean, we even see him in it as himself in one episode.
In the
amazing
drug flashback, yeah. Well, not drug, but like not quite
robot drug flashback.
Drug flashback. But yeah, I thought that these were really, really fun. Like I enjoyed them. The fact that they did a whole theme song and everything. It's just brilliant. Like
And the cast as well. Clark Gregg, Jack McBrayer. It was just like, oh.
it was brilliant. Like I want
Golfy.com. Jack Abbott.
What the fuck?
Alexa, shut up. Wow, there's my Murderbot trying to.
We're listening.
How does Jack McBrayer sound like the A word? I'm surprised they haven't done it, and I'm wondering whether they will do it in a future season. That we actually get a full episode of the Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon.
I was about to say that. Like what? There was one show that did that. Where it was just like the show within the show, and it was the whole episode. But I don't know.
It does sound familiar.
I don't know which one I'm talking about, but I know like a TV show in the past has done this.
Just very recently, literally 2 or 3 weeks ago, Star Trek Strange New Worlds season 3 did something similar, but it wasn't the whole show.
Yeah.
But their episode, and slight tangent, but still connected. The episode was about the creation of the holodeck for the first time. So that was Star Trek's idea. Like, look, we're always stuck on a ship all the time or a planet. We want to do something different. If we could do an episode, like Next Generation did it loads, like Patrick Stewart is suddenly Sherlock Holmes. The safety features of the holodeck always got turned off. So someone could actually die in there. And they're literally trialing it for the very first time in a Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode. Before that, the thing starts running, and it's literally like dodgy 60s Star Trek. You know, the nurse's character's skirt is really, really too short, and the camera leers in on her. Like the captain's trying to talk like William Shatner does in it. And like the aliens,
Literally.
it just looks really, really bad. Yeah. It was so good. And then she goes into that show and starts interacting with the actors who are playing those characters, which is cool because, again, all the actors get to play different roles. So it wasn't quite like this. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a full Sanctuary Moon episode. I'm sure they could work it in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or just like release it like an Apple like bonus episode on like
I mean, make it a spin-off show. Why not?
or just like just one episode on their YouTube channel and would like bring more interest. Like
To be honest, the fact that they got John Cho, Clark Gregg, Jack McBrayer, like those are huge actors, and it's more than just a cameo. That's multiple scenes in the show.
It was funny seeing
That's
John
really
Cho in
cool.
it after he did Cowboy Bebop as well.
Yeah.
I still liked Cowboy Bebop, man.
you need to watch the original, man.
I've
but-
tried. It's so old though, and it's good.
Sir,
Who's
the man who
talking?
made a Jaws TikTok. Seriously,
Hey,
he's so old.
That Jaws TikTok is doing well, my friend. Is doing well. No, I don't know. I really like the live action thing. I recognize where it was shot in New Zealand and all this kind of stuff. I was like, and I liked it. I really enjoyed the show, but everyone who liked the animated show mostly hated it, and it got cancelled, which made me sad because it was I think it was like one of my top. It made my top 10 list that year, and then it got brutally murdered,
Oh, man.
and I left it on a cliffhanger. I was like,
Oh.
God damn it. Anyway, back to Murderbot.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
What brutal murder? Yeah, it's horrible. One of my things is, do we think the length/format of the show, you know, a sci-fi comedy drama action show about a non-murderous robot who just wants to be left alone, so it's very black comedy. Do you think the format is its biggest problem? Jose, you're waving.
I say it's not a problem. I'm
Really?
actually a fan of. I'm a fan of shows that make you want to watch the next week. I don't like binging all the time. Like I like binging sometimes, but the fact that it makes you wait a week actually extends the life of the show. I feel like
Usually,
so if you want to talk,
I would agree with you.
Yes, but I mean, I like I said before, almost every episode I wanted to watch the next episode right away, and I think that's a good thing. It just kind of kept me excited about the show. And yes, the pacing could be a little off here and there, but overall, I think it was just a really fun show, and I think it did balance out annoying characters and funny commentary and a second show within a show. I honestly thought it balanced everything out pretty well for what it could have been otherwise.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to disagree with you on this. I'm also against the binge now because I think when a show is released week to week, it builds that water cooler moment through the internet, you know, not like where people used to go in the office and go, oh, did you see so-and-so? Oh, yeah, it was great. Blah, blah, blah. You kind of get that online now when a show, and when it's one a week. At the minute, I love like going on all the socials the day a new Alien Earth episode comes out because people are just losing their shit over it of how fucking good it is. And Murderbot missed that. And I think it's because of the length. I think if it was a 45-minute to an hour show, then you would be like, okay, you feel like it's worth the discussion. I feel like it just got lost because it was so short. I think it's a problem to do with the length more than the format or anything like that. I mean, how many Apple shows, right, that are half-hour comedies do you watch as soon as they're out? And I was trying to think about it. Like Platonic, I'm sure I'm about 3 or 4 episodes behind on that now, but I watch it all in one go. So I think the binge model probably would have actually worked better for Murderbot because it would have been a short binge for a lot of people. I think it's 5.5, 6 hours tops, right? People would have demolished it in one sitting probably and gone, wow, have you seen Murderbot? It's amazing. And it might have got more of a push out there on socials, and because we don't really see people talking about it much online.
I think the thing with Murderbot, at least the show, is that it is good. It's just really good overall, but there is no big highlight moments. There's no there was the sex between those two monsters, and then there's
You're not putting that in the
the rest
trailer,
is
dude.
annoying. Yeah, but then the rest of the time it's just annoying characters and him dealing with it, and it's kind of a hard sell. It's just
I
a
could agree
really
with that in a way.
low key,
It's a hard,
funny show.
I mean, Mickey 17 had the same problem this year. Like, it's a
Yeah.
sci-fi comedy.
I mean,
kind of similar in some
Murderbot
ways.
was what I wanted Mickey 17 to be. Like, because Mickey 17 needed to be more wacky. It needed to be more there. It just missed the mark.
And there was a
bit.
throuple.
Oh yeah, a twin throuple, which I wanted them to. I wanted them to keep the throuple. As I said, I hate the resolution to a love triangle when someone just dies. I think that's just so lazy. Like,
That's
give
a
me the
cop-out.
throuple.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
a
such a
cop-out,
cop out. But yeah, like when the first Murderbot episode came out, I was just like, this is what I wanted Mickey 17 to be, because I was very disappointed by Mickey 17. I think this should have been a binge. Like, as I said, you read the book in one go. So, like, you should have watched it. And like, this is something that I constantly saw between like book fans, where we're just at the end of like, we're halfway through page 1 and they turned it into an entire episode. Like why?
Oh my God.
Like, it's and then I think like one thing that I also like people complained about, the fact that the intro sequence took up most of the episode, which I completely agree with.
When it's 24 episodes, there was one episode that was like 24, 25 minutes. I was like,
yeah.
And 3 minutes of that is a fucking intro.
I love that intro, but like,
It's great,
after a while, you need to like realize like if an episode is so short, maybe don't take it all up by the intro. If you release it all at once, you have the best of both worlds. You have the people like us, like me and Neil, who has no self-control and who would watch it all in one go, and then you have someone like Jose who would like say, okay, I'll watch 2 episodes now, 2 episodes tomorrow, and actually like
pesky work.
Yeah, and actually like spread it out and enjoy it, but it would give you that option. But yeah, because it like I would also forget about it, and like only like when we would remind each other, it's like, oh yeah, the new episode of Murderbot.
Shit, Murderbot's out tonight.
Yeah, like
we finished podcasting on a Friday, and I'd be like, oh shit, I'm right. I'm going to go and get a takeaway and watch Murderbot. Yeah, that's my Friday sorted. And I'd still be eating when the time the episode finished.
Because I do agree there's some, like, for example, Severance. Like, that definitely, like, should have, like, that worked as a week-to-week format, especially just the amount of stuff that was talking about it.
And the episode lengths of that were all over the shop anyway, Severance.
Yeah, but still, with Murderbot, there's not really much theorizing. There's not really water cooler moments with Murderbot. No. It's just you're in there for the ride.
Do you think 6 45 to 55-minute episodes would have been better even?
No, to be honest, I don't mind the 20-minute episodes as long as they should have just let them like release them all at once and cut the intro. Like,
okay.
Yeah, maybe just do the thing where they have the full intro for episode 1, and then for just like episodes 2 to the final one, just have the title card, like,
and just have a 5-hour binge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tempted to watch the whole thing again now. I am. I think I'm going to listen to the book now. I've added it to my Spotify list, and then be like, bastard, these books are really expensive, but I like having books, so I'm going to have to buy them all.
They should release them all in one in a bundle, especially the novellas.
Like, oh, yeah, they should be. I'll have a look around.
Can I ask how many books total so far?
7, I believe. But like the first 4 are the short novellas.
And so 5 is the novel?
No, 5 is when they go into full-on length novel. I'm not even sure if I've read book 7. I read all these all at once, and then like now I can't like I caught up.
So there's an interesting question for you. Is it just purely because you haven't got around to it? But like when there's a series of books that I'm so many books into, and there's a new one out, I immediately have to have it.
No, it's just I read a lot, and like new releases come my way all the time. And sometimes I just lose track.
So it's not like, the quality of it hasn't like kept you in.
No. It's definitely like they're like the quality, as I said, is that there's no bad Murderbot, but the quality is there. It's just I read so much that like, and sometimes there's like 1 year where all of my favorite authors are releasing new books, and I just completely lose track.
One thing I wanted a bit more information on, which I thought would have helped the world building a little bit more is that we know there's all these different warring companies out there. So we spend the season largely with like the
Preservation Alliance.
bar them. We don't really learn much at all about Deltful or Graces. And again, I had to look them up. Do you get more about them in other books?
No, not at all. As it's
That's
not,
completely different stories. Wow. Okay.
because Murderbot doesn't care about them.
Like
Right.
Murderbot's out here and everything is over
happening
here.
there. There's
Well, that answers my question then. But that's what I didn't bother to
Yeah,
giving you
like-
anything more on it because the
Exactly,
Murderbot
but,
didn't
like-
care about it.
There's like a brilliant line in the books where like they say something, like they reference like a backstory of one of the characters, and they all look at Murderbot like, how come you didn't know that? It was in our personnel files. And he's like, oh, I just didn't read them. I don't care. Like, and all the humans are just looking at him like all offended, like, what do you mean you didn't read our personnel files? He's like, I really don't give a fuck what you guys do. Like, I don't care.
So another thing I want to talk about is Murderbot being Ace. Now, if Marie hadn't explained this aspect of the character to me beforehand, and obviously a little while ago what Ace was, I don't think as a man of a certain age I would have probably even noticed it. Because to me, as a layman watching that show and that performance, I'd be go, well, he's a robot. Of course he isn't interested in sex or anything like that. But Marie, explain what is more to it than that.
Tapping in your Ace co-host. I mean, you guys wouldn't know I
Tagging
was
in.
Ace until I told you guys. Like,
Right, yeah.
yeah, like, I mean, this is like one of the main reasons I relate to Murderbots but so much, because I myself am asexual, and there are not that many asexual characters out there. We're making progress. We're getting there. But honestly, the amount of people, including myself in the ace community, who owe their coming out to Todd Chavez from BoJack Horseman is almost also funny and tragic at the same time, because he was like the most prominent ace character. So yeah, Murderbot is Ace, and there's like a few ways in the show that's communicated. Number one, and I even wrote the quote down because it's from episode 1. So basically, like one of the first lines, like first sassy Murderbot lines we get, judging by their pulse rates, they were contemplating sexual activity. Long pause. Horrible. And the way he says horrible, like that just resonates so much with me, because that was me in like a nightclub watching all of my friends hook up and just going, ugh. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, just the way he just says that, like, just like horrible. There's like other like signs of him like fast forwarding through the sex scenes and stuff like that, like being completely uninterested about it, and just general comments. I have to say it is a bit more obvious in the books, but it's like it's never.
I was about to say that horrible line. Yeah, that actually gives it, because to me I was like, oh, he's just a robot. He doesn't care because he's a robot. But actually showing a negative reaction to it by saying it, like you said, horrible, then obviously that gives it a lot more purchase, doesn't it?
So like Murderbot isn't Ace because he's a robot. Those two things are like mutually exclusive, because like there are and that is where the plot of Sanctuary Moon comes in, where the captain falls in love with the robot. And they actually have sex. Even though it's not possible. So that was like a clever juxtaposition compared to that. In the book, there is an explicit line where Murderbot like contemplates the fact that even if he had the like genitalia to perform sex, he wouldn't. Like he still wouldn't. Like the two are mutually exclusive, and this is the only thing where I'm a little bit worried when it comes to like the books and the movies, because of that like assumption, because like asexuality itself is not very well understood even among the LGBTQIA community, where I kind of constantly have to explain myself. And the fact that it's a robot character that's Ace, like I'm worried that might have negative connotations.
I did read some stuff about that where people were like, oh yeah, because that means all Ace people like robots and blah blah blah.
Exactly, but again, you guys know me. Like
Yes.
like the fact that Murderbot is quite like expressive in other areas. He's not Data. He's emotive. He has like other feelings towards anything. He's like deeply depressed.
I mean, all we have to mention is Ghost or K-pop Demon Hunters, and boom.
Well, I mean, even in the show later in the season where there's that moment where I don't think they have sex in the show, but like there's emotion from the robot that the captain interacts with.
Yeah, no, in Sanctuary Moon.
Yes,
No,
Sanctuary
no,
Moon.
no.
Yes.
And they do have sex in Sanctuary Moon.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
might
yeah.
mention it, but they don't show it.
No, well, because Murderbots always fast forwards through the sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, no, they specifically say like they boinked in one of the Sanctuary Moon scenes, and this is where Labibi comes in because like Labibi brings in up all the ethics of how like robots and units are used in the world, and like obviously Preservation Alliance, they're very hippie, they're horrified by that, but also like just like also you could see it when she like attempts to kiss him and he like freezes. The thing about asexuality, it's on a spectrum. Like some aces like to kiss, some don't, some even engage in sexual activity. I know that probably broke you guys' brain a little bit.
No bit.
But like asexuality is on a spectrum and there's no like one way to be ace. It's like and there's demisexual, gray sexual, and
I'm
I
just
can
nodding my head.
Don't. I was about to say, don't nod like you know what this means, Jose.
I'm just, yeah, I'm taking it in.
But like other
We're
than
here
that
to
fact,
learn.
like you shouldn't take it as face value when you like read the books and then pay attention to the details in the book in the show. It is very obvious. As I said, it's as obvious as I am obvious. Like there's like it's we just exist. Like
You're just people. You're just people.
asexuals are people. No.
Yes.
Not robots. Please don't get the take
Yeah.
that's from the show, basically. Yeah. Jose, let's talk one of the issues potentially with the show, and that is tonal inconsistency.
Yeah, for the most part, I didn't see it until I tried to think about like near the end of the series when they were talking about Garathan and Mensa a little bit more with their backstory, and it did seem kind of like going from sci-fi and action and a little bit of comedy with the annoying characters, and then they were trying to get a little deeper with Mensa and Garathan and their backstory. It did kind of feel a little jerky, and if it wasn't for the fact that it was short episodes and they were kind of self-contained, I mean. It's not as noticeable to me, but I can see how other people were like, did it work? You know, maybe it didn't. But
Well, it's like the Mickey 17 thing we said. It's very hard to hit
Mhm.
all those points in any show or movie, let alone do it in such a short space of time. Bizarrely, the one thing this made me think of in terms of really successful sci-fi comedies was Red Dwarf. I mean, it's cheap, it's low budget, but
Mhm.
Red Dwarf absolutely nailed it in its early seasons. It was so good. And then when it actually, bizarrely, when it kind of got a bit more money and became bigger, and they tried to be a bit more serious, it sucked. Like it just went straight down the thing.
That's really what it comes to is the quality of the writing, and to me, I think
Oh, the
everything
writing's
was
there. It's
yeah,
there.
the writing's just done well. Like, and like again with no reference to the book, I think all the stuff fit in fairly well. And there's never really a moment where I thought personally there was filler from my perspective. Yeah, especially with every episode being so short, it felt like it was like, oh, we're just going real quick from one thing to another.
Even the alien boinking?
I thought, well, that made sense because later.
What's kind of contribute that to the plot? Like what? Like
Because it later came to where the eggs that they laid
Came back and helped them.
came back and helped them
Inadvertently.
because the big creature came in and just ate the villain.
Fuck their shit up.
So it came around from my perspective that it made sense. They had to build the character, the aliens in there to say, hey, it stopped them from moving the ship, and then oh, they're boinking, oh, and then that leads to the eggs hanging, and then that leads to them being saved by the mother saving them.
And like you say with the filler stuff, I didn't realize that Libibi wasn't even in the book.
Yeah.
And she was one of my favorite parts. Do you know what she reminded me of, Jose? She reminded me of Heidi Gardner from Saturday Night Live, the actress.
Yes,
Had that
I
vibe
almost
to her.
thought it was her at first.
At the start, yeah, at the start I was like, oh, is that? And then it wasn't.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Yeah,
off point. One thing I just forgot to mention in our previous section when we was talking about the representations of the stuff that Murderbot is, and one thing is the neurodivergent aspects of his character as well. So we talked about the ace representation, forgot about neurodivergency as well. And when I was doing my research, I did research a little. I read the author, Martha Wells, apparently wasn't aware of how non-neurotypical she was when she was writing a book. And she said that many aspects of the character came just from the way her brain works. And it was only when she'd written a book, so they were out, and people were reaching out to her and going, hey, and talking to her about it and going, hey. And she goes, actually, that explains a lot about my own life. So I thought that was a really nice story there. That
yeah.
yeah,
she was
someone who's
neurodivergent,
like
clearly.
going through that right now, like getting like diagnostics. Well,
Diagnosed?
figuring out why my brain is
Marie
fucked.
truly is Murderbot Diagnostics.
Diagnostics, yeah. Yeah, this is like another reason why I relate to this character like so hard. It's just like the eye contact scene in like episode 2. Like, I mean, you will know exactly. You will like if we ever meet in person, you will learn this about me. Like I struggle so much with eye contact. I cannot do it. It's so refreshing to read someone who's like just so socially awkward. It's just so great because it's like it's like yeah, it's me. Like the book, there's like a line where he's like, if I have to spend more time with these humans, if I don't like, he's along the lines, he's like, if I don't get some sleep, I will kill these humans because I need to be away from them. Like it's like I need time to recharge, and I'm like, yes, that's me. I've got a literal social battery. Like I've got a social battery, and if it runs out, everyone else should run away from me. Like I'm done.
Yeah, the whole social battery thing. Because a few years back, I filmed we had TEDx. We're doing a TED Talks thing in Folkestone, and one of the ladies who was doing a speak was an introvert, and her whole speech was about yes, but I'm in a business person and just learning how to be in it. And she explains, she goes, just understanding how it all works. Like if my social battery's there, then I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I kind of like made my uncle a bit worried while I was back in Hungary because I made my casual joke of like, oh, I just don't like people. And my uncle got like really worried about me and like thinking like, oh my, like, is she lonely? Is she not like talking to anyone? And it's just like, no, it just takes a while for me to like find my people, and it's fine. But like, I will never just like open my door and outwardly socialize. I'm like, no.
Do you know what? And it's funny, like in Jose, you remember, it's like when we were on ships, it was like we were in a bar all the time. It was the bar was the life and sort of party. But probably after I worked with you the second time on a diamond, I took myself out of the bar scene. I'd go out once or twice a cruise, but I wouldn't be out every night because all I wanted to do was sleep, not be involved in any of the bullshit drama that went on in the crew bar,
Oh yeah.
and just watch movies and TV shows in my cabin. So it's like
I mean,
Murderbot. There you go.
I'd say
I was
that's
Murderbot. Yeah.
I'd say that's a little bit more of a mixture of maturity and being burnt out on ships. But I can say
Well,
that.
not necessarily ships. Like even back home now, man. Like my friend
Mm,
had a party last year, and I was like, if I go to this thing, it's at a massive place. I'm not going to know anyone there, bar the person whose birthday it is, and maybe one or two people from the office. I don't want to spend all
yeah.
night just standing talking to them. And I kind of got into the thing over the last sort of 10, 15 years of, unless it's my like really close friends, like I had friends down for my birthday the other weekend, and there was 12 of us. I was like, how are there suddenly 12 people here? And it was a great night, and everyone kind of moved around and socialized with each other, and it was fine. But going to a party where I knew hardly anyone, it was like my idea of hell on earth. I used to hate it on board where we'd have the theme parties where a department would host, and you would have to all go, and everyone would spend a week getting ready for a party that lasted 3 hours tops. It was insane, and I just like, no, I've got work tomorrow morning. I like, and I remember having a manager just having a go at me. You're not a team player. You need to go to this. Like, and so I got so into the habit of masking it and turning up,
Yep.
pretending you were having like, oh yes, a Jack Daniels and Coke. No, it's just a Coke, and making sure that everyone saw you there, and then fucking off as quickly as possible to just.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was like, oh yeah, he was, and I was like, yeah, because you were so fucking drunk at later on, you don't remember being even, and it just become, and I was like, and you know, you start thinking, oh, it's just tiredness, but yeah, the more you think about it over the years, you're like, oh, actually, no, I probably do have some of those tendencies, but like you said, so in my age, we never got it diagnosed, so just kind of like
No,
learn
masking
to
is
live with
like
it.
a real nerd version, like
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that we do, and it's also what Murderbot does with his visor. Like because
yeah,
he hides behind
literal.
his visor, it's a literal mask, and he gets very uncomfortable when he has to show his own face.
Yeah, actually, this is great because I was about to ask. It's like it took me a little while to understand the character as well because of the facial expressions, and I'm like, he's a robot. Why can't he just not express himself? But I guess it's not part of the character.
No, like because his governor module is hacked. He's
Hmm.
like he's more and like they're half because his body is still organic matter.
Yeah.
So no, he has like expressions and there's a
Hmm.
moment there's a like in episode 1 there's actually like a really good moment that like translates perfectly from book to TV where Menza asks him, "Oh, do you want to stay in the common room with us?" And he just meets with like a look of horror where and then everyone just picks up like, "Oh no, it's fine, it's fine." And like in the book because obviously it's all from his perspective, he's just like oh no, I couldn't have made that much of a big expression on my face. Like I shouldn't have. And then he rewatches the video and goes, oh. No, that was
That's
very
funny.
obvious.
Yeah.
So one other thing I want to talk about is the apparent controversy, well, with Marie at least, for the ending of the series and the changes made from the book that me and Jose weren't aware of. So before we get into it,
Yeah.
Jose, I thought the season finale was fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, I probably thought
Nothing stood out to me as being different in it.
I'd say like the last two episodes could have been shorter because the last episode being
Shorter?
back.
Are you crazy?
I know. I think
Your
it could have been
attention's- It could have been a TikTok video, Jose, lasting 10 seconds.
I mean,
Be
because like
shorter. Shut up.
the last episode, the way it just that was them saving. I honestly thought that was the ending, and then I was like, oh, there's another episode, and it's them back in the corporation, and I'm like,
That was
okay,
cool.
this one actually wasn't as necessary. So I felt
Oh, I
like,
feel it was.
but it did fill in some gaps in terms of like, oh, he's on a ship. He's like, he didn't hijack. He's faking his identity, and he's now going off to his next mission. And that's where I was like, okay, that part makes sense. But they could have just kind of tied it up a lot faster.
Well, we're going to find out now for Marie what actually happened.
Oh, yes, I'm curious.
So, the one of the big changes is that liquidation is actually not a big threat in the book, which is like the number one like big threat in the show. The line "speech or liquidation" is pretty great, and I love it because like even in the book, Murderbot even says we are too expensive to destroy. The whole like losing Murderbot, having his memory wiped, like, and then somehow finding a MacGuffin to bring his memory back. That just
All in the same
like,
episode.
that made just so like barely an inconvenience. Like it made no sense. Like it's no, and like that was a complete add-in just to pad the runtime and to add drama and have like also in the books, Garatham comes on like him and Murderbot have like their spat. They resolve their issues way more faster than they did in the show. Again, they like stretch that out, and then like having him like bring back the memories. But there's like because like they made it so clear, like, oh, once his memory wiped, it's gone, and then they're like, oh no, hang on, there's this backup server that if we tap in. Like that, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like to like the laws, the rules that they already set up.
It's bad when shows don't follow their own internal logic.
Exactly, exactly. And in the book, like there was like not much drama, but in the book, like they managed to take Murderbot with them without him getting his memory wiped because of Pin Lee, because they are a lawyer. So they could have included that in the scene, like have more of like a courtroom drama-esque thing and like and then that. But yeah, that whole like padding the runtime, the whole riot thing, like that was all just like show original and it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, because we got the flashbacks of him in Murderbot times, and I was like, oh, are we going to see are we going to remember stuff from his previous things? Is he going to sleep back in?
Yeah.
And I'm
Also,
guessing that is a plot point going forward in the books.
not really. So
Oh,
the
what?
mining colony thing is mentioned, but this is where I actually say that like Murderbot in the books to Murderbot in the show are two completely different people. In the books, Murderbot was just like, yeah, I killed people, okay. Like moving on. Like and in the books the reason was it was a faulty his governor module malfunctioned, and after that incident he felt a need to hack his governor module because he didn't trust it anymore. Didn't trust it anymore. But yeah, they talk about that mining colony incident, and I think it's like killed 57 people, and he's like, okay, so like
Wow.
it was in my
Okay.
programming, like what? And like whereas in the show he does like properly obsess about it.
Yeah, and with what we know about flashbacks in shows and that type of story, you're like, oh, is he going to remember stuff? Is he going to have this big moment of awakening? But no, from what you said in the books, no,
Yeah.
he's Murderbot.
No, he's just
Yeah,
like,
of course he killed people.
maybe the plot comes back, but I honestly do not remember it. But at least in the first book, it's really just barely touched upon. Like Gruffin brings it up once, and like
That's
he's
it.
like, "Yep, I did it." So, like your point.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, on the Murderbot being a killing machine thing, if he felt, I mean, it's that line, isn't it? He goes, he could, he says multiple times, he could murder everyone if he felt like it. When I was doing a bit of research and looking around, just reminding myself because I'd forgotten so much already about the show, I came across a YouTube video by this lady called Ellie Blackwood, and she said much more eloquently than this. So I'm paraphrasing. And her video was called "Why Everyone Is Obsessed with Murderbot," and she said the reason that the Murderbot keeps joking about killing humans all the time is because that's what it sees in constructs in the media that it consumes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really fucking good
Oh,
point. I just thought it was really
wow.
well said. I was like, oh, so it's really good video, guys. Go and check it out.
Just don't like influencing my own thoughts before I come in here.
I'd forgotten so much. I was like,
So here's a random question that's not really related to anything. When you reread the book, did you hear Alexander Skarsgård as Murderbot now? Or was it still
No, I mean because I did the audiobook and the person who read the audio, Kevin R. Free, I think he's called. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I mean, you guys remember
Nice.
when the trailer came out? I did have a bit of an issue with the narration because I still had Kevin's voice in my head. Skarsgård did do a great job. He did win me over, but as I said, like the character, it's not like polar opposites. They're still not the same person, like versus even appearance wise, they're not. The Murderbot in a book is more like deadpan and straight to the point, like not like robot deadpan, just like more like just straight to the point, not really worrying about hurting people's feelings. Whereas like this one, like Skarsgård's Murderbot is very sassy. Like he's extremely sassy. Like I do admire like Skarsgård as someone like who like does go through this quite a lot. He does such a good job at showing like that someone who's like very uncomfortable in his own skin. Like by just the subtle movement and facial expressions, like he just does such a good job at communicating that whenever he's like in an awkward position. Like I really appreciate that. There's a lot of eye acting, I think, in Skarsgård's performance where it's just like, so in the end, like he did win me over.
That's good.
and of course, we're looking forward to season 2.
Yes, which has been confirmed. So
It was something along the lines of Murderbot season 2 is pronounced, even though he doesn't want it to be.
oh yeah.
And so, coming back to what we kind of said at the start of the podcast, one of the big reasons we feel this show hasn't had the acclaim it deserves is because its promotion or lack thereof by Apple. Marie.
Yeah, see, like I do agree about this, but I did think about it because like if you think about it, Apple has a habit of like not paying attention to their shows until they do well. Like if you think about like the Severance. Season 1 promo versus the Severance season 2 promo, it's like was a lot more. Like I think like Apple like just like we'll put this into the world, see who responds to it, and if it's good, then we'll invest marketing budget into it. Like I think that's been like Apple's like strategy. I don't think it's maybe an effective strategy, especially with something like Murderbot that had like a already established audience. Like,
and Murderbot doesn't have that mystery box element that Severance had.
Exactly.
It's not going to drive, like, when season 2 of Murderbot comes out, I don't think it's going to drive people to rewatch season 1 in there's great numbers and analyze every aspect of it like they will with Severance. That's just a uniquely Severance thing, right? Isn't it?
They need to know like what they have, and it did made me think, as of course someone who works at marketing, what they could have done. And actually, Amazon did something interesting when the Wheel of Time came out. That when they actually flew,
they did.
Yeah, they flew a bunch of.
Did anyone see it?
No, well, because they tapped into the right audience. They flew in a bunch of booktubers whose main subject matter and whose main audience is to talk about the Wheel of Time. So they had all the book audience there already. What they didn't do, however, what they did wrong, however, is the second, like, the booktubers started criticizing the show and pointing out inaccuracies, Amazon dropped them like a fucking stone and, like, pushed them to behind and went, no, don't listen to them. We don't know who these people are. Like, shut up. So, like, they got their feelings hurt. But, like, the initial marketing push was really clever, getting all these people who knew Wheel of Time to come in because all their audiences knew Wheel of Time. And that's how, like, I was aware of the show because the booktubers I follow were there.
And of course, as we know, our very first ever YouTube short video was your Murderbot reaction trailer, which is like your Murderbot trailer reaction, which is up to like 7,500 views now.
Yeah. Like you need to know your audience, and like this is the book fans that you need to tap into. And unlike the Wheel of Time, I don't think you pissed them off that much, so we're still on board.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm hoping that combining 3 novellas into one season gives you more of a show. Like, I just don't want the episodes to be as short. Drag them to 40. 40 minutes is fine, but anything shorter than that, I mean, when you're getting to like the 25 minutes, it's kind of like, come on.
Well, I think with the fact that we want more, fitting 3 short books is going to be great. Honestly,
but like Marie said, with the marketing, how do they market it in a way to get the average person who's not that interested in it?
That's the thing is, there's no action set pieces except for aliens having sex. There's
Why are you focused on that? There was loads of action set pieces when he fought the other murder bots.
Yeah, there was.
But then, if you think about it, they show that, and then most of this episodes are not that.
But it's not an action show. It's a show about dealing with crippling depression. Like, maybe have it outside therapist offices. Like, do you feel like this? We've got a show for you.
Right, so before we put down this volume of Murderbot, we have just time for our final thoughts. And Marie, is this show a recommendation for you? I think we know the answer. And what is your rating out of 5?
Definitely, it's a recommendation. It wasn't perfect, so I would give it a 4 out of 5. But I think as far as book adaptations goes, it's one of the most loyal ones I have seen recently. And it's a fun ride, and you should definitely check it out, especially now that all the episodes are out.
Binge it, people. Binge it, and you'll love it. Jose?
Yes, I would definitely recommend it. I would say about a 4 as well, but I mean, I almost want to give it 3.75. Just because the annoying characters. I think what I would do is I would say binge the show. It's a really fun little show, except just be warned that some of the characters can be a little too annoying. But overall, it delivers, I think. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'll keep it at 4.
Yeah, for me, I enjoyed Murderbot, but my biggest problem with it was the shortness. Not annoying people, because they're supposed to be annoying. It's the shortness of the episodes and the decision to drag out the first short novella over a whole season. It just seems a mistake for me in terms of holding viewers' attention. Like we said earlier, maybe it should have been longer episodes or maybe just a binge watch. But I really did enjoy the show. But it just hasn't wormed its way into my psyche yet, like it clearly has for Marie. But I do give it a strong recommend, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And I'm very much looking forward to season 2. So that is all the time we have on this week's episode of the We Needed Road podcast. I'd like to thank my co-hosts Marie and Jose. Marie, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me under Life on Mars. That is Twitter, Instagram, and maybe TikTok. TikTok and I are beefing at the moment. Baby just got her first community guidelines violation for talking shit about Sheen. So, yeah, we'll see if I get my account back.
Jose, where can people find you where you're not causing trouble on the internet?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at A Spanish Joe. For the month of September, I'm going to be posting a photo a day, so that'll be fun to see.
I literally thought you were just going to be posting there for the month of September. So this is random. You have a different social media account every month. Continue.
Yes, and then I'm a photographer by trade, so you can find my photo Instagram account at Jose Lopez Photos.
But only for October.
Oh, that would be horrible. If you want to look at my website with my professional photography for weddings, you can go to www.jlopezphotos.com.
And you can find me at Needed Roads on Twitter, Neil Gregory78 on Instagram and Threads, and NeilG78 on Blue Sky. So for more We Needed Road shenanigans, you can find us on Spotify and also here on YouTube, where you can find our full library of episodes. And if you like what you've heard, hit the bell icon and subscribe. And also, if you're in a country where this new YouTube feature called Hype exists, which it doesn't here yet in England, Portugal, and America, apparently, hit the hype button wherever it is and hype us up. It's designed to promote smaller podcasts like our one. So we're small. Give us hype, please. And don't forget to leave a comment. If you enjoyed Murderbot, let us know what you liked about it. Let us know what you liked about the book versus the adaptation. How would you have promoted Murderbot better than Apple? Let us know in the comments as well. Right, I'm off to binge the first 397 episodes of Sanctuary Moon. No one interrupt me, and then I'm going to go off to check the perimeter. See you next time.
We Needed Roads.